Hello, Cozy Detectives, and welcome to the Blanket Fort Files. I'm Larisa,
And I'm Joy.
and we're here to report on all things comfy and cozy. La la la.
I also breathed so awkwardly in that. I breathed in and then I panicked because it was getting close to my one word I had to say. So I just held my breath and I was like, and I'm Joy. Okay. I'm
And
out of
I'm
it.
Joy.
I'm not out of it. We're both getting over a little bit of a sickies. And I think the thing that's throwing me off is at this point, I'm having one coffee a day, which is crazy. Very not me for me. And so I feel like I'm down, but I'm not down. I'm just my
Lower than
treats.
normal.
You know what I mean? I know. I'm
I
like
need
a
my
small
treat.
child where I'm like, I want my treats.
Now, give me my treat.
I know. I could because of a whole nother scenario of things. I'm actually recording via my phone. So I was like, I could go on a what's it called when you are in elementary school? Field trip. I could go on a field trip to the kitchen and make a matcha
There you go.
while we're recording. But I don't know.
I know. Because Joy and I both had to rest this week.
Which
We're
is
recording
good.
yes, I'm very proud of us.
Yeah, me too.
But we're recording episodes back to back. Um, and so
Yeah.
well,
You have
not back to back,
secrets.
and yeah, I do.
Your
So
hair
there's
is
gonna
full of
be
secrets.
my little sneak peek of that is you mentioned I only have 1 cup a day, and then most days I don't even finish that 1 cup because I'm usually, getting ready for work, and then I get
Mm,
distracted,
I
and then
get
it,
that.
gets kinda cold, and I really don't like reheated coffee.
Yeah, I don't either.
But because of my surprise update that I'm gonna tell you tomorrow in next week's episode, if you're listening, um, needed to stay up late than I normally do,
Oh
so I
my
had, a
goodness.
10 a.m. cup of coffee yesterday.
What?
It was
That's so
so wild for me.
crazy, Larisa. Oh, that's so funny. I'm
Um,
literally looking at it. I might, hopefully, if my signal gets weird or wonky or something during our catch ups. And plus, you're up first. So if you hear me, I think I am going to do it.
yes.
Is this weird? This feels weird. I feel like I'm taking the Cozy Detectives and you and me all on a field trip.
Oh, I
And
love it.
I know we're audio only right now, but here's my lactose free
There you
milk.
go.
I also,
You're getting the immersive experience.
listen,
Oh, no.
me putting my
So
milk
good
down.
ASMR.
A thud, one single thud. Oh, I'm out of it.
Well, before we get into our catch up,
Yeah.
I'm introducing I haven't told you that I'm calling it this, Joy,
No, I
but I'm
love it.
introducing a new segment
Ah!
called Cozy Corrections.
Oh my gosh, so funny. Okay,
But
okay, I have
well,
another.
I texted
I hope we're on the same
yes.
page with this
Well,
cozy correction.
I texted you about one, but I didn't the other, and I don't even know if I actually made this mistake, but I immediately after we stopped recording, because the last episode was when I was hyper fixated on the Artemis. I think I said one of the
Mm.
things wrong with their ship. I think I called it Infinity, and I realized as soon as we got off, I was like, I think I said Infinity and it's Integrity. So I don't even know what
Oh,
I said, but if I said it wrong, this is my cozy correction that
you're
it is in
good.
fact integrity because I have integrity to admit when I'm wrong.
Hey, look at us go, you know?
Smooth. And then
I
the
like
other
it.
one, this is the one I texted you about. So I my case file last week was on Anastasia, and I had talked about this theory that you and I had both seen. You also are just so
Yeah.
methodical with your scooping. I'm like, wow,
Well,
she
it's
is
because
in the zone.
it's the little bamboo whisk,
Yeah,
and my goal is to not throw it everywhere.
spill. Yeah, I would make such a mess.
Am I whisking?
Ooh, that's actually really lovely.
I'm trying to do it right. I'm learning. Actually, my thing that I thought you were going to say about cozy corrections was different. So can I jump in the middle and then you jump in at the end?
Are we talking about the hair?
Well, I thought you were talking about something else. I thought you were talking about the mummy.
Oh, yes. Please talk about the
So,
mummy. That was my favorite conversation.
so funny. Larissa texted me because in real world times, there is a very spoopy movie coming out or is out now, I guess, called The Mummy. And she was like, I keep getting ads for this thing, and I will never understand why you find this cozy. And I was
Because
like,
it's literally like a
it's
demon baby
literal.
screaming.
Yeah, it's
And
terrifying.
Joy and I will sometimes like make our own podcasts for each other and just send voice
Yeah.
memos. And so I sent her one of like,
Like,
I've
girl.
I've always been a little confused, but the first one I watched, I was like, there's no screamy baby. So I was like, maybe this isn't the second one. But I was very much judging you. And then you were like, no, girl, this is a completely different movie.
Yeah, I had to respond because I was just like, yes, I thought that too. So I feel like, again, everything goes in waves. And now I'm scared to pour this boiling water in this. That's okay.
Oh, but the boiling water is going to be really nice sensory sound.
Well, we'll see, because it's not going to be if I break a glass. Okay.
Oh.
I have that fear. Yeah, have I ever done it? No. I'm afraid to do it? Yes. Because you're supposed to.
Have you seen the... Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. I feel like I'm so off.
I feel like we're just on a FaceTime call.
Things and going everywhere.
It's literally like a FaceTime call. But I was going to say, have you seen the thing where you can hear the difference between hot water and cold water being poured?
I have heard that.
Yeah, it's so cool. I'm like, wow, science.
Right? I guess I could do that. I don't know if I have cold water. Oh, I mean, I'm sure there's cold water somewhere, but I almost forgot to like pre-steep my little whiskey whisk, because you're supposed to do that so it opens before you make your matcha.
Wow. You're very official.
I'm trying. I'm not great at it yet, but I'm learning, and that's okay. But the Mummy movie coming out now is like a horror movie and is not my mummy. And I responded, I was like, I hate it too. And I was like, hashtag not my mummy. I was like, not my mommy, not my daddy.
Oh, no.
My mom told me to say that if anybody tried to kidnap me as a kid.
Pretty good advice.
Right? Oh, I made my water too hot. Okay, well, now we're going to have to hear some mild water, because I'm going to scold my matcha if I were to pour it like this. But yes, so it's a very scary movie, and I also don't like it. And I just, yeah, nope. I was getting the ads for it too, and it got me, because I was like, oh my gosh, they're already out with the preview. I was like, how did the preview get out already? No, horror movie, not Brendan Fraser, creepy baby thing. Don't like.
Yeah, it's terrifying. I'm like, can they pick a different picture? Like, I get that it's a horror movie now, but like, pick a different thumbnail, please.
And they're doing the thing that they did for that movie Smile, where like their ads is just like them putting like a mummy in random places. Ugh. And I'm like, I don't like it. But you go with your actual correction.
The hair
thingy. Yes.
Okay. So we had both seen the same reel talking about Anastasia's hair and how it actually is supposed to symbolize how long it's been from them traveling from Russia to Paris. But when I was editing our trailer, there's a scene of her getting the dress from Dimitri on the boat, and her hair is short.
Yeah.
And she puts the dress on, and her hair is long, like in the same day.
It's like still on the same boat.
Yeah. So it's not a journey through time, journey through the past, if you will, but a magic bob that changes lengths. And I need to know what the secret is other than animation.
Right. Or maybe it was supposed, well, yeah, because same day. Maybe there was supposed to be time in between.
No, because it's literally, he's like, here is your dress. She goes to try it on, and then her hair's long. Like, she takes it out of the bob, and it's long. It's in a whole ponytail down to her bottom. And I'm like...
You're like, this ain't it.
Yeah. Yeah, so that theory lied.
Right? Got by the interwebs.
And we fell for it.
But honestly, like, that's what I like thought too, because again, if you're on a boat and you're doing all this stuff, yeah, plausible.
But yeah, it's like literally like 2 seconds later. It's not even the same day. It's in the same like 30 minutes.
Right.
Not
that we could call it this, because I feel like we would get swatted. But remember the show Mythbusters? Did you ever watch that? Have we talked about that?
No, but that would be a good little case file.
Right? But I feel like it's like cozy Mythbusters. It's like, how your hair do that? Was it really that?
I can't see what you're doing. I just hear the
I'm
sound effects. Are you like chopping up ice?
yes. So my ice machine doesn't work. And so
Oh.
I like the like chunky ice. And you
Mhm.
can get a bag of ice at Chick-fil-A for $2. And so I got the like good ice, but it became
It's
like
all
one block.
congealed.
And then I
Yeah.
gotta like stab it. So I'm getting there. And I'll try to mute myself in times where I'm making like way too much noise. 'Cause,
Maybe the ice.
yeah, the ice is a little much, I'm not gonna lie. But it's a process.
Uh,
So I should have done this before, and I thought about it before, but then I was like, "No, I don't need a matcha." And then I was like, as soon as we started, I was like, "I want a matcha," and I have the capabilities to take you with me for a matcha. So
there you go. You're on, podcasting on the go. Revolutionary.
right, look at us, cozy detectives on the move.
All right. Well, if you need to be loud, I'll talk about my first little update.
Yeah,
And that is, I got to cross off another spring bucket list item and I went
yay!
strawberry picking.
Ooh.
And we didn't think we were going to get to because we've been in like full Texas spring lately of like, is it going to rain? Is it not going to rain? It's forecasted to rain. We're not sure. Um, but it held off. It was very kind of gloomy and cloudy, but the weather actually felt pretty nice, which helped. And we got our little strawberries and we got strawberry donuts, which are really good that they sold there.
Cool. I've never
Yeah, they
even
were like a
heard of
little
that.
like it was like a just basically like a cake donut. They have a little bakery as part of the farm, so
Cute. That should be a
we
thing.
got to get some.
Okay,
So
loud noise.
yeah, it was okay. I will keep talking about my strawberries, and I have my little strawberry earrings that I have that I wore because I was like, I love a theme.
We do love a theme. Okay, what's your
All
next
right,
one? What's up? What's the
you're
haps?
still bopping around.
Matcha,
I was like trying to
matcha-ing.
think of the yeah.
Still matcha-ing.
I'm just like also fascinated by like the procedure. I'm like,
Yeah,
wow,
it's a
there's so many
whole thing.
steps.
There's so many
Yeah.
steps, but I'm learning and I feel like I'm getting better at it. The thing that I would like to do, which I did buy, what did I buy? Think about either raspberries or blueberries, but I want another
Oh yeah,
attempt
your syrup.
at the syrup because
Yeah.
actually now that we're in the kitchen, I can show you this glass noise because I got this at IKEA
Ooh,
and it's
pretty.
big and intense and it's like a big old syrup bottle and
Yeah.
I don't say syrup like syrup, but I always want to. That's a really random thing that my brain. I have said syrup twice today because I went out and I got. Oh, I just put that in wrong. That's fine. Got lunch and that's the second time today my brain's been like, say syrup. And I'm like, you don't say syrup. Anyway.
I didn't realize there were different ways of saying that word.
I feel like it's like a very like southern thing or something to say it that way.
Maybe. All right. So my next thing,
Yes.
I haven't done this very much, just because I like I'm on the computer like all day at work, and I don't want to be on the computer when I get home. But
Mm.
I found out, I don't know how, I just like randomly searched because I was curious if it was even on there. But Sims 4 is free on Steam, like
You
completely
did text
free.
me that.
Yes, and you can't get any of the like extension packs, but like the whole base game is completely free. And I was like, "Are you sure? Are we
Yeah,
sure
right?
it's free? Like, it's not a scam?" And it's not, and I've been able to fully play,
Whoa.
and it's been really fun and nostalgic, and I'm like, "Well, we gotta
Fun.
do a case file on this now. Please and thank you."
Did you like I mean, we're getting ahead of the case file now, me asking this, but did you play when it was like a big thing?
Yeah, I never actually played 4. I w 2 was the one I remember, like, playing a lot of growing up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What's the difference between 2 and 4?
I think 4 is just it was the newer one, it's, like, better graphics and, like, more customization, and it's more
Oh,
current, whereas 2 is, like, an older version.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Yay, matcha
Yeah.
is done. And it's in a little strawberry glass.
Cute.
Meh.
Oh, that's pretty.
Okay. My one catch up thing is I got a projector. And
Yeah.
I'm
You've been wanting that for a while, so I'm excited you finally got one.
yeah. I got it was on sale on Amazon because I was like looking and then I was just getting overwhelmed because there's 90,000 options for a projector. And I did get it. The one thing that I have noticed is that because I don't have like a screen, it's just projecting onto the wall, I feel
Mhm.
like it's a little less sharp, obviously. And
Mhm.
I feel like I don't think it's hurting my eyes, but I feel like my eyes don't really know what to do with it yet, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Have you, watched it at night at all? Because the picture you sent me, it
Hmm.
was, like, really bright out, so I'm sure that probably was
Yeah.
part of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Night is a lot better. And the sound is good. And I have it at this kind of odd angle because of the way the couch is. I need to just put it right in front of where I'm trying to project. And I feel like that will make
Mhm.
it crisper, more
Yeah.
crisp, whatever, too. But I really like it. And it makes me feel very nostalgic in 90s, my little projector. And I
Yeah.
did watch Gilmore Girls as the first thing on it, and it made me happy.
Love that. So
And it
fun.
was
I'm
fun.
glad you were able to get it working and everything. So I'm
Yeah.
sure like once you play around with the position and the like focus stuff, it'll be
Yes.
better on your eyes. But
Yes. My two
are you
things.
ready?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no, keep going. Keep
Oh, I was
going,
just gonna
please.
say my two things that I was really focused on for the projector is I wanted it to be able to connect to a DVD player, and then
Mhm.
I wanted it to be able to also connect to like Netflix and YouTube.
Mhm.
And this one does that. So I'm
Oh,
excited.
perfect.
I have not tested out a DVD player because I need to get a new one.
Mm.
But once I do, it has the cables
You'll
and the
be
ports and all of that. I'll
unstoppable.
be unstoppable. Sometimes I remind
That'll
myself,
be really fun
yeah,
if you wanted to be, like, totally on brand and, like, make a little blanket for it and
that's what I
somehow
was
have
thinking.
the projector in the blanket for it.
Yes. The other thing I was thinking too was I think I'm literally going to put like a little nail on two parts of the wall and then maybe hang a sheet. I want to see first
Yeah,
maybe if that will work or if it's
a
too
white
like
sheet, yeah.
meh. Yeah, because I just think the very small amount of texture in the wall is messing it up. And then because everybody presumes now that everybody's going to hang a big old TV on the wall, the plugs are literally at like almost eye level. And so it's like I'm watching Lorelai and then she like walks over a plug. And I'm like, meh.
Yeah.
So I need to put like something over it so it doesn't do that.
Yeah, I
But
get that.
yes. Okay, yes, I am ready to get into it.
Okay, I'm very excited for our theme, because this kinda came about from a recent-ish episode when because this one was on your movie Galentine's, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, your case file is. So, often mistaken for each other if you grew up around the time that these movies came out, AKA the early 2000s.
Yes.
We are talking about 2 confessions movies. So,
Woohoo.
I'll have confessions of a something, and you'll have a confession of a something, and you probably can guess what the 2 movies are. Because you know it the drill here, we have to act like it's a big reveal, so here we are. But I'm up first this week, and my case file is Confessions of a Shopaholic.
Yay. I remember watching this one. I don't know if I have this one DVD, but I have mine on DVD for sure.
Yeah, I think I like yours more growing up. But I do have a special connection with mine and like the book series around it. I don't know if you ever
Mine
read the
was
books
a book
that
too. No, I never read it.
okay. Yeah. It's actually kind of sad. The author passed away last year of
Oh
the
wow.
books. She had a brain tumor
Oh wow.
and actually like wrote a book that I read like last month with a character who had a similar condition, but she said it was like her most autobiographical work. So yeah, it's kind of sad.
Mhm.
But the series is also called Confessions of a Shopaholic, and they were released in 2009. Or no, sorry, the movie was released in 2009. The books are older. I was like, no, I read these like when I was younger. So the movie is based on the first two, which is Confessions of a Shopaholic and Shopaholic Takes Manhattan.
Oh.
And a side note on the books, kind of the movie as a whole, if you were to just like prescribe an aesthetic to the movie, but particularly the covers of the books, like the original covers. I don't know, Joy, if you've heard this term before. Have you heard shoe Diva before?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
was like
Yeah.
peak shoe diva vibes. Like
Yes.
my favorite growing up, like, and still to this day, I'm like a sucker for it. But if anyone is not familiar with shoe diva, I'll go on a little side tangent. Basically, it's a term. I don't think it was called that at the time, but now like historians, maybe, I don't know if that's even the right term, but basically, it's a name given to an aesthetic primarily from the early 2000s, where it's very much like doodle vibes, like curly Q font,
Yeah.
like shopping bags, high heels, fashion, lipstick. So think of like the Skinny Girl Margarita brand, Chicken Salad
Yes.
Chick. Those are like more recent or like current things that still use that style.
Hmm.
But it was very popular at the time. Part of my case file next week's episode will also feature a Shoe Diva aesthetic hardcore. But we'll save that. Anyways, I just had to go on a side tangent on that. So the movie stars Isla Fisher as Rebecca Bloomwood, and she has this like outlandish, ridiculous shopping problem. And Joy, I know we were like, you weren't sure how to say her name. I actually watched a video of her saying how to pronounce it, and it is Isla Fisher.
Oh,
Yeah.
I always would get her and her
Amy
look-alike.
Adams.
Yes, I used to get them confused back in
Yeah.
the day.
Redheads. Yeah.
Yes.
And she's actually Australian. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, I didn't.
Hmm.
Whoa, she does a really good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
She's the one that was married to the Borat guy, right?
Yeah, actually it was like, are they still together? They
I,
got divorced last year.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But I thought Amy Adams was for a while. I don't know. I was really confused back in the day.
You're not alone. A lot of people get them mixed up. But essentially the plot, so it's really outlandish and the books are just, I don't know. I find the books a little bit more endearing because you're in Rebecca's head and
Mm.
she just, you can tell that she actually really means well and she's so earnest with, but everything is like a problem and it's always chaotic and it's always just like, girl, what are you doing? It's so stressful because she's
Yeah.
like, surely this will work and I have to have this, and it's just, it's so ridiculous, but it's so fun. But essentially she accidentally gets a job at a Successful Saving magazine, basically writing an advice column on how to save money. So like her
That's so
alter
funny.
ego essentially is
Literally.
like she can't save money.
This is
But
another
when
one
she
of those working at a magazine ones too that like when we were talking about that, yeah, I forgot. I
yes.
totally forgot that. I've seen this maybe
Yeah,
once
but
or twice. Like I've definitely seen
okay.
it, but I don't remember
Not
a
as
lot of the
often. Also, are
plot.
you
Yeah.
like done with your matcha already?
Yeah, I was really struggling because I will say I learned. See, this is where you learn through the process. I learned I shouldn't have put the clump of Trader Joe's thing in. I should have put it in the matcha and then like squiggled it that way because all the way to the
Okay.
bottom. So I feel like I was just trying to get to the bottom. I don't know. Anyway,
I
my brain.
next time's the
Yes, I
charm.
am done with my matcha, and like I feel like that little kid that's like, "Where's the bottom of my chocolate milk?" You know what I mean?
So anyway, so this movie just takes you through all of Rebecca's antics. Again, it's like always something, and there's just like a lot of physical comedy in this.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's not my favorite movie. I definitely like the books a lot more, but it's still like a fun, if you want just like a bad early 2000s
Yep.
rom-com with a journalist, that just try it out. It's fun.
Yep.
It's a fun
Yep.
time. And it is a rom-com because she ends up falling for her boss, Luke Brandon, who like, so he runs the Successful Saving, and so like they start dating or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
getting into a little bit of differences between the books and the movies, or and the movie, there's only one. The books are set in London, again,
Oh,
where I got my obsession from,
right.
probably. But they set the movie in New York, and they said it was to connect better with American audiences. And like, I get we're like the leading force in like movie going, but I'm just
Yeah.
like, why does everything have to revolve around us all the time? Like, I think we'd be
Yeah.
okay to see a movie in London. We would very much
Yeah.
love that, to be honest.
I agree. Totally. New York versus London
Um,
isn't that big of a difference in like I don't
right?
know, like popularity. You know what I mean? Like I think people love seeing movies about New York, but I think also likewise people love seeing movies that are in London. Like,
Yeah.
I'd be stoked.
I don't know. Yeah. So I have I read an article that was an interview with the costume designer, since fashion is like
Ooh.
a big part of the movie. And the costume designer is Patricia Field, and I'll see if that name sounds familiar to you in a
Yeah.
second. But um, she described the fashion in the movie as colorful, glamorous, and sexy, with great accessories, bags, scarves, and belts. The style is young and fresh, younger than Sex and the City or The Devil Wears Prada, which she was the costume designer for both
Oh,
of those
there
movies.
you go. That's where it's at.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm
Cool.
like, man, she is just like the go to for like New York fashion movies, I think.
Yeah.
Very talented. And she said that most of the costumes weren't even that expensive. They didn't really use a lot of designer pieces, despite Rebecca like having an obsession specifically with designer shopping.
Mm.
And that she actually got most of the pieces from a mall in Tokyo, which I think
Whoa,
you can tell
cool.
in some of the outfits she wears. I think there's a lot of like Tokyo fashion. You can see the
Mm.
inspiration in a lot of the outfits. So I really enjoyed learning about that. And then I have a list of all of the other actresses who were considered for the role. And I love doing this because it's very much of like, oh, yeah, this movie came out in the 2000s and
Yeah.
every A-list actress was considered. So we've got Reese Witherspoon, Jessica Alba, Jessica Biel, Anne Hathaway, Amy Adams. So
Oh,
they almost went with
twinsies.
her. Emily Blunt, Kirsten Dunst, Katie Holmes, Amanda Bynes, Rachel McAdams, Amanda Seyfried, and Lindsay Lohan were all considered. And I'm just like, yeah, that just go down the checklist
Yeah, right? Like
of
top
white
at the
actresses
time.
that
Yeah,
were time.
exactly.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And then I have this kind of funny story, and I don't know if it was true because I really struggled to kind of find a lot of behind the scenes on this movie. I watched a couple of interviews. I was telling Joy that everyone was like, yeah, I really liked working on this movie. And I'm like, cool, that doesn't tell me anything. But
Mm-hmm.
I found this like random old article talking about the actor, and I don't even know if you remember the character name, Derek Smith.
Mm-mm.
So he's like basically like the debt collector for all of her like out not or like
Oh, her credit
overcharged credit
cards.
cards or whatever, and she has like a special ringtone. It's like, this is Derek Smith, do not answer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the actor apparently, again, I don't know if this is true, but the actor who played him, his name is Robert Stanton, and I guess his like only other job before he tried to get into acting was a student loan collector. So he like
Ah.
tapped into his experience with that. And he said he wasn't very good because he kept laughing when he was talking to people.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I wouldn't be good like that. They're like,
Yeah,
if you can, it'd be great if
I
you
know.
could,
I like
but
I'm not that I couldn't be that mean.
right.
Oh.
Oh my
Like
goodness,
you can
that's
have
so
more time.
funny.
It's fine. Life is
I
hard.
know. Wait, who made it? There's some comedian that I can't think of who it is right now, but was talking about how he got fired from working at a bank because people would call and they'd be like, "Hey, I overdrafted," and blah blah blah, and he'd be like, "Okay, here's your money back." And that'd be me. Like, nah, you can
Yeah.
have an extra week. It's okay.
It's fine. Yeah. Money is money anyways.
It's
It's all relative.
okay.
So the author Sophie Kinsella was actually on set for most days of filming, and she said that Isla really captured Rebecca's essence. And I have a quote about Isla from the director. Um, she said she's vivacious, she's funny, she's a wonderful dramatic actress. This movie wouldn't work without the ability she has to pull this character off and show that she is serious. So,
Mm.
like, there are moments, obviously, because she's struggling
Yeah,
to
she's
be
going
able
through
to
it.
not like like it's an actual like mental health problem for people. Like
Yeah.
and I actually have this last note. Isla actually went to Spenders Anonymous for research to kind of like
Whoa.
talk with people who have
Yeah.
that problem. And she said it was just like really sad because like you
Mm.
could tell these people are like really struggling and just like actually can't help it. Like it's obviously like over the top dramatic and funny in the movie and the book,
Yeah.
but like in real life, no, like this actually really affects people's lives. So
Yeah.
not to end it on a sad note, so
No,
I'll
you're
get
good.
into why I find it cozy. Again, it's like all the nostalgia for me. This is while the movie is on the tail end of the early 2000s, the books for sure were like such a part of my early 2000s like upbringing. I've read most of them multiple times. I stopped reading a lot of them just because I was getting older as they started coming out, but I did read one. It's like Shopaholic Christmas or something like that, and I read that
Oh.
in December, and it was like fun to be back in this like zany world with
Aw.
this character who's just like at one point she orders like $300 of salmon and doesn't have room in the freezer, so she's
Whoa.
like, it's cold enough outside, I'll just keep the salmon on the porch.
Aw, you're like,
So
girl,
it's just,
please.
yeah, it's just like all this stuff of like, you're stressing me.
That's funny. I like
Uh,
it. I like it.
yeah,
Honestly, mine kind of has vibes of that too,
yeah, no, literally.
right? Should I get into it?
Yes. I just have, if maybe we'll put this on the thumbnail, but an alternate title could be Confessions of Chaos because
Yeah.
I feel like that's both of these movies.
Yes, chaotic, very dramatic, very over the top, avant-garde in ways.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna set the scene. Picture this, Cozy Detectives and Larissa. It is 2004, and
Yeah.
these are the movies that you have to choose from. Mean Girls comes out. A Cinderella Story comes out.
Yes.
Sleepover comes out. Raise Your Voice comes out. A New York Minute comes out. Napoleon Dynamite even comes out.
Oh, yeah.
And Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen,
Yeah.
which is
What a lineup. Oh,
what a
and
lineup.
I think The Notebook also came out that year too.
Wow.
Because
I think you're
I think
right.
Not Regina, Rachel McAdams did both of those movies the same year.
Right. And then Lindsay Lohan's Mean Girls and Confessions of
Mhm.
a Teenage Drama Queen, which
Yeah,
I'm
they
like,
were booked and busy. Yeah.
y'all were just going for it.
2004, what a lineup we
What a
had.
lineup. What a time.
And this
So,
is why we say they don't make rom-coms the way they do because we were getting them one after another, after
uh-huh.
another, after another, and then Napoleon Dynamite,
I know,
for
right?
extra fun.
There was some flair. Um, But yeah, I feel like that's the other thing also, like with Disney Channel original movies or DComs, it was like one a month. And like they were
Right.
like, I remember that. I mean, they're not always great with like the double teamed where she's just like, I thought it was like the most high tech thing she's ever done. And literally
Suspense.
Homegirls just like struggle bus it. But it's fine. If you know, you know, Ghost Detectives. But so Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen also was a book. So the book came out in 1999 and then
Oh,
the
wow.
movie in 2004. And I never read the book. I actually didn't even know it was a book previously
I don't think I
until
did either.
not until doing research for this did I realize that. But it's interesting that I feel like yours kind of from what you described, and correct me if I'm incorrect, but like did the opposite kind of what my book did, which is my book kind of has Lola slash Mary, same person, but she's like, I've been
Mhm.
Lola since I was 5. I just knew it. Um, she's a lot more not likable in the book. And in the movie,
Mm.
they changed her to be a lot more likable.
Yeah,
So I feel
I
like you
get
were kind
that.
of saying like the zany sides of it and like the really like quirkiness kind of like does the opposite. So I thought that was
Yeah.
interesting. Um, if you haven't seen it, I looked it on Rotten Tomatoes. It has horrible reviews.
Most of the movies of that time did, but you know what? We didn't watch it for high cinema.
Right,
We just watched it for the vibes, and we were having a
right.
fun time.
Facts, and it definitely delivers those. So the main character be I'll call her Lola because that's it's so interesting because her name is Mary Elizabeth Sepp, but she's like I'm Lola from birth and she knows it, and so everybody calls her Lola. She's basically moving from New York, which also I will say, like now getting older, she's like well, Lindsay Lohan was 17 when they filmed it, so I think
Mhm.
she's meant to be right around that age. And I like watched part of it and I was like, this poor mom is moving her 17-year-old and 2 kiddos out of New York City to New Jersey just to like try to like have a life in a house. And your daughter's in the back seat, just like, my life is over. And once I used to have a wonder. Like she's just like
She's so
waxing so
dramatic.
poetic in the back
Yeah.
seat. And you're like, girl, I'm just trying to give you a life here. Okay. Can you just deal?
Also, when you were talking about her name, anytime I think of this movie and specifically her name, I always think of the one teacher. She's like, Lola.
I know that lady loved that part. So there's like this
That
super
makes me so happy to hear.
I know. She was like, this is so fun to do because so she moves basically to a small town. I will
Mhm.
get
Sorry to
remind me
jump
if
the
I
gun.
don't. No, no, you're fine. I just don't. I'll like jump to like that part. But she moves to a small town, and so she's now a was a big fish in a small pond, and
Mhm.
it's crazy because this like her counterpart opposite is Megan Fox, which I forgot, and then her
Oh, yeah.
lackey, kind of like girl in this is the Sweet Life of no, not Sweet Life, the Derek one, that where they're siblings, and you're like, Disney, what are you doing? Why are you having siblings? Like we're supposed to ship siblings. I can't think of
What?
what. There she is. Ashley, Leggett, Marcia. What was that? It's the Derek one. I'll find it. Hold on 2 seconds. Life
The
with
only
Derek.
Derek
Did you ever
I
watch
don't
Life
know
with
that.
Derek?
No.
Oh, it was so awkward. It was like they're step siblings, and then is this Disney? Sorry, I'm going off Post Detectives. 1 second. So they're step siblings. IMDb. Oh, it's a Canadian television series, but it aired on Family Channel. That's why I was thinking it. But they're step siblings, but then they always do like kind of flirty stuff, and you're like, am I supposed to be shipping step siblings right now? This feels weird. I don't get it. Anyway, all of that to say that was like a really like random nugget. But she's like the lackey of Megan Fox, who's like the is it anti-hero? Not anti-hero, antagonist, I guess, to Lindsay
Mhm.
Lohan. And
Yeah.
then Allison Pill is Ella. So Lindsay and Ella both really love Sid Arthur, and so they bond over that like immediately in this small town. So they become
Which is a
basically,
band if no
which is
one
a
has seen
band.
it. Yep.
Yes, the band Sid Arthur. And so the things I found that are really interesting about the movie is it is a very quirky movie. It is very dramatic, obviously.
Yeah.
Even looking at like the cover, it's 9 photos of Lindsay Lohan just doing all these different faces and everything like that, different
Yeah.
hairstyles, and it's so good. But they are we kind of like go in and out of her brain, if that makes sense, where it's very the only word I keep thinking of is avant-garde, because that's really kind of what it is,
Mhm.
where it's dramatic in her brain and then real outside, but then music plays a part in it as well. But the thing that they really changed a lot, book to movie, again, kind of back to that, is by the end of it, Lola Lola kind of like lies throughout because she's trying to like be cool, or she's trying to make her life more dramatic, where she says like, my father died like trying to get to my mother with all of these flowers, and then he dies, and really her mom and dad are just divorced, and her dad lives in New York
Yeah.
City. But she's like
Yeah.
trying to make like this just like her world of things. But at the
Mhm.
end of it, she's like a good person and is just kind of figuring it out. Whereas in the book, she lies so much that she becomes a really unreliable narrator of like, are you lying or not right now? So her likability.
Honestly, I can get that with the likability, but honestly, sometimes but this I only really like in terms of like thrillers. Sometimes an unreliable narrator is kind of fun because you're just like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I can trust you and I don't to tell the story correctly. But I feel like that only really works with like thrillers, but and like
Yeah.
I'm assuming
Like a
it's also like a
teen rom-com.
teen book. Yeah.
Yeah. I
So I
just
feel like
don't
that would
think
be
it
kind of
works.
weird. Yeah.
Hmm.
I feel like that would be weird.
Yeah, it also was like a lot darker, so it pokes more fun at like teenage angst and insecurities and stuff, whereas the movie I feel
Mhm.
like kind of walks you through that, because the
Yeah.
best friend really grows in her confidence because she's pretty sheltered, and Lola kind of brings that out of her. But then Lola learns a lot of the stability that Ella has, so I feel like
Mhm.
they're a really good combination of like two main characters, and through kind of
Yeah.
the quirky circumstances slash Lindsay Lohan trying to be like, no, I am cool, and don't worry, like we've got tickets to, because the band's gonna break up. So I was like, they're gonna play their last concert, so like we have
Yeah.
to go. And Megan Fox's dad is the lawyer for I think the attorney or lawyer or somebody like that for the
Yeah.
band. So she's obviously going to go, and she tries to like be like, well, I'm going to this. And then Lindsay Lohan's like, well, I also have tickets to it. And so then they have to like find a way to get the tickets and do through all of these
So
things.
stressful.
So stressful. Like it kind of is, because they're like lying through it. She like steals the dress. So the other part of the whole plot of it all is that there's a high school production going on that they're auditioning for and they're trying to create. And it's very interesting though, because Megan Fox's character actually kind of like comes up with the idea. And that's where the teacher that you were talking about is in it, because she's just like so intense. Whereas like Megan Fox's character actually did come up with the idea for everything to kind of change it around. So it's Liza Rocks is what they have. So it's kind of, that's also avant-garde. If you ever heard this movie or seen anything from it, I'm sure it's the one dance scene at the very end with Lindsay Lohan,
I used
which
to have that choreography memorized.
obsessed,
I don't
obsessed
anymore,
with
but I
that.
used to. Yeah.
Right, so good.
Yeah, because I think it took me a long time to figure this out, but I think like the play that they're doing in the movie is like a retelling of Pygmalion, and
Yes.
also My Fair Lady, we talked about last time, is also a retelling of Pygmalion. So it's like
Oh,
there's like some connections there, if that
yeah.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Because I was like, I guess I don't know the source material of Pygmalion, but like this is like Eliza Rocks, which is a stage play, which they're filming when they film the movie, they're filming it at multiple angles and wide shots and everything, so they can get some of the inside of Lola's brain. Like there's like a very obvious crane shot looking directly down at her in that last scene. Um, but it's I don't know. I just feel like it's so fun. It's a very fun movie.
Mhm.
And I would be very remiss if I did not talk about the costuming in this
Oh,
movie
please.
because it's wild. It is done, David C. Robinson did the costuming, who also did the costuming for Zoolander and the
Mm.
Lizzie McGuire movie, which I feel like kind of tracks. You know what I mean?
It's yeah, very just like over the top.
Yes, exactly. And the end of the Lizzie McGuire movie where they're doing the whole song there in Rome at the Colosseum. And then this at the very end, it's like, it's got those like similar vibes with the pants and that like top
Mm.
combo. And I
Yeah,
feel
and like
like,
reveal piece or something.
yes, exactly. Like, I feel like the Lizzie McGuire movie, even like, so that came out in 2003. So it was like Zoolander 2001, which I feel like is iconic in its own way. And then Lizzie McGuire movie 2003, and then Confession of a Teenage Drama Queen 2004. Now maybe track all of those back by a year for like the actual filming of it all. But I feel like he's kind of like building on it. Like, I mean, this is just joyisms at this point. But Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen is very theatrical, I think is
Mhm.
like a really good word for that. Like obviously they're in the theater, but Lola in and of herself, like when they realize that Sid
So much
Arthur is
theatrics.
right, when they realize that Sid Arthur is breaking up, they're like wearing all black and they have basically like a little wake, and it's just like you're at school. What are you doing? What is happening here? What's going
And the
on?
balloons, what's the line she says? Because like the balloons just drop and she's like, as these balloons like fall, so does
Exactly.
my or whatever she says, and then they like fall and she's like, metaphorically, of course. It's like one of my
Yes,
favorite parts. Metaphorically, of course.
exactly. But in true like TV movie, well, not this isn't a TV movie, but like TV/movie fashion, when they go to New York, they can't get in because they didn't get the tickets because all this stuff, she leaves the dollars and all of the money on the train. It's a whole thing.
Girl.
I know. Honestly, stress. I would be Ella in
I would
this
have a full
situation.
panic attack.
Yes, right. I'm like, okay, we can't even. And I love that their whole plan is like, we'll get it from scalpers. I'm like, girl, what is happening here?
With what money?
Right? They have like not enough money in general. I don't think. Like even looking back in that, I'm
Yeah.
just like, none of this is working. This is teenage drama logic. It's just not working.
Yeah.
Um, but then the band, the two main guys that each of the girls loves, comes out and they're in a fight and they're arguing. And then Sid Arthur, like the main guy, Stu, he walks away and then he passes out into the trash, and then they like meet him and they're in his bedroom at his
Also
loft.
so scary.
So
Like, they just help
scary.
because he's, like, drunk, and they're like, "We're gonna
Yes.
help this drunk rock star as 2 teenage girls." Like, "What?"
I know, but I feel like that's also kind of something where you seeing it through Lola's eyes feels more like even the trash itself isn't grody trash, and it's supposed to be like
Yeah,
back alley New York City
and it's
trash.
all in, like, clean bags.
Exactly. So I'm like, is even kind of this through her eyes, because this would not be like this.
Yeah.
And so they have that whole night and they go back, and then it's interesting because even in this movie, they give him the benefit of the doubt. They're like, oh, maybe he's just had like a rough moment. And then when they see him also, because they hang out with him later on, and then she's trying to ask questions about like, how about your lyrics for this and that? And it really spoke to me. And he's like, I ain't got no idea. She's like, oh, you're kind of pathetic. Like,
Yeah.
she's like, which I'm also
Yeah.
like, yes, girl, like, I don't know. Like, she read him really aggressively, and then he actually takes that to heart because later at the very end of the movie, spoilers from 2004, but she has the whole uh show at high school, and then they end up at Carla's house, the Megan Fox character, and then Sid Arthur shows up, or Stu shows up, and he gives her her necklace back, which is also iconic. That like
The
3
Coke
Coke bottle.
bottle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. The Coke bottle necklace. And then it's like the good people get the good things and the bad people always get like thrown in water. So
Oh yeah, she falls into the
randomly she falls into the tub. Why is your
And
tub full?
have you rewatched that movie recently?
I watched like clips of it where she like,
Okay,
yeah.
because you need to go and watch her falling in because literally she's just like, guys, and she's like literally just walking backwards on
Yeah.
her own. And she's like, guys, this is my party, guys. And she's just literally like walking
Uh-huh.
backwards, like no one pushes her.
Yeah.
She just is like, whoa, it's like so comical that she
It
falls into
is.
this fountain inside with these like feathers on her dress. And I'm like,
Right? I feel like it
girl,
was
what
the
are you
tub.
doing?
In my mind's eye, she literally falls into the bathroom tub. If that's
I
not
think
correct.
it is a fountain because she's supposed to be like super rich, but so it's
Oh.
like this corner fountain in like the living room or something. I don't know why they
Okay,
would
that
have
would
an
make more
indoor
sense.
fountain, but I think it's just they wanted her to fall in and be like, "You'll get yours," but I'm like,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
it literally was for no reason. Like no one pushes her. She's just like walking backwards towards it and then just like slips in and then it's just so cheesy. And I'm like, I mean, obviously this movie is very cheesy, but I'm like, why you falling in was for no reason.
Yes, exactly. It just feels like, again, like exactly what you said, where it had to be the mean girl gets hers.
Yeah.
Oh, she does fall into a fountain. You're right. Girl, why you got a fountain here? Yeah, they're like all excited, and she's literally just going, guys, guys. And she backs up
Yeah.
and just
She
like
says guys so many times.
flops into the fountain. But I will say
Yeah.
Homegirl was iconic even in her own style because all of the Burberry that she wears, she is like her own style is also good in this. So I
Yeah.
like that they gave each character a lot of depth and quirkiness. Ella's the one that I'm not gonna lie has the least amount, but she also kind of comes out of her shell too. Like when they're in the Sid Arthur Stu whole loft situation, she has these
Mhm.
huge, super high lace
Converse.
up
Yeah.
Converses on, and you're just like, okay, girl, she's going for it. So
Yeah.
it's a fun
It's
movie.
so
I find
fun.
it cozy just because it is so out there. It feels like early 2000s fashion, but like pushed super far, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like the dramatized version of what that was, which is fun. And it's fun just to watch because it's avant-garde, because I've said that like a gazillion times at this point, but because it's very theatrical, because of all of that, they could really just take it to a second and third level. Where I feel like
Mhm.
in the Lizzie McGuire movie, the only place we really see that is when they're having her walk that runway with all of those different outfits. Whereas, like,
Yeah.
if you haven't seen this movie, basically imagine that those outfits are just everyday wear for your main character. Like,
Yeah, really. Do
pretty
you
much.
the one thing I wanted to know if you like this came up at your research of all because I feel like it was also just like very peak of the times
Mm.
was the dance revolution scene.
Yes, it did. So I guess the girls were so good. So it basically there's a scene where Megan Fox, what does she say? Or she's like, me again, or something like, I won
Yeah.
again, or something. She says that after every time she wins.
Yeah.
But she's known for just like demolishing people on this versus, I don't know how to describe it if you have never seen it. It's like, it's Dance Dance Revolution is what it is, but it's basically like you're standing on these individual platforms trying to dance according to the song and the steps, but you're trying to hit colored lights on the floor at the same
Yeah, I
time.
think it's like you're trying to get like a better score than the
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
person.
So it's a versus. So you're
Yeah.
each on your individual
Yeah.
little platforms. Um, because the girls were so good at learning it. So I think I already said this, but anyway, but in the scene, it's Megan Fox and Lindsay Lohan is the verses on that, which is what it ends up being, which is funny because I don't know why Lindsay Lohan is there in the first place because she's there with the best friend Ella and they're like
Oh,
handing
I
out
think
these
they're
papers about
yeah,
like Sid
that's
Arthur breaking up. I'm like, girl, why are you
yeah,
here?
they're at the mall because I
Like
think
about
they're
their
trying to
wake?
get tickets. I think they're trying to get tickets for the concert.
Maybe. The
I don't
thing
know if
that
they I think that's why they're at the mall, but it's been a while since I've seen it, so it could be different, but I think that's what they're there because I know Megan Fox's character is like, "Well, I'm gonna be there," and Lindsay Lohan's like, "Yeah, well, we are too,"
Yeah, that's the
while they're
conversation that they
dancing.
have. Yeah. Yeah. So that's when it all goes down about she's like, well, my dad is this. And then Lindsay Lohan's like, well, I'm gonna be at that closing concert too. But it only took the girls about 3 hours to learn
Oh,
that
wow.
whole
Good for them.
dance. I know. The director, Sarah Sugarman, is it director? I'm pretty sure she's the director in this. Let me make sure before I mess up myself. Yeah, director. Sarah Sugarman was talking about how she's like, that would have taken me forever to learn that. But they learned
Yeah.
it pretty fast and they shot it obviously at all those different angles. And it's so funny because I didn't realize it until doing the research on it. They only do 2 rounds. So
Mhm.
Megan wins the first round and then Lindsay wins the second round. And they're just like, that's fine. They don't do a third one.
Yeah.
What do
Well,
you
and
think?
it's interesting too because like so the goal is to like step on the correct arrows, but then
Yeah.
they like do these tricks where like Lindsay like leans back on this like bar and she like kicks her legs out and I'm like
Yeah. You're
that
like,
doesn't get you extra
there's no weight there.
points.
Yeah.
What are we doing? It's like, oh, well, like if it was like a visual scoring,
Yeah.
sure. So I'm like,
Yeah.
that just never made sense to me. I get visually for a movie, it looks cool, but I was
Yeah.
like, but it's about tapping the
I know, right? So really, in theory, you should just be standing there doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of a deal.
Yeah.
But they're like doing all these different dance moves and they're
Yeah,
in
they're,
sync
like,
with
hunched
it.
over and they're
Yeah.
like, "Eh."
They're super in it. But yeah, that was a
Uh,
fun thing. And they were talking about how like that was like a long day because they had to
yeah,
make
I
sure that that
bet.
was filmed correctly from all the angles and all the different things. But yeah, that did come up. But 3 hours is not bad to learn that whole choreography because it's not like it's particularly short. It's not super long, but you're also having to do
Yeah,
all of
and
your
then to also
lines.
I was gonna say, you have to do your dialogue with it.
Yeah.
What was the thing about the teacher?
Oh, basically just that she loved it. So she loved the idea of getting into character and getting to be super quirky with everything because she kind of, I think what it is, I feel like in her heart, she's a big fish in a small pond. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Yeah.
character's heart. So she's the theater director. And I feel like basically picture a similar version to High School Musical.
I was gonna say that, very similar theater teacher,
Right.
right?
Just like a little bit more quirky and maybe more
Yeah.
out there also.
Yeah.
But yeah, she just loved being in there and getting to do everything. And just, it was a fun part for her, is basically what she was
Cute. I
talking
love
about.
that she enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I
Cause
also
you're
like
like,
the
okay, you're
line
not actually like odd like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's in on the joke, you know?
Yeah,
She
I
gets
also
it.
like the part where she's like, "Children, press your bars."
Yeah, that's their whole. I remember watching that and being like, "What?" Because it's supposed to be the orchestra, and
But
they
it's
just
all
all like, which they
laptops.
all basically press like a space bar is how it feels. It's
Yeah.
like okay,
Technology.
technology. Yeah, but yeah,
So
it's good.
fun.
It's a good time. Okay, you go with your 2% first because I feel like I just talked for a while.
No, it was super fun. I could talk about early 2000 stuff forever. We both could.
Right?
That's why we have a whole podcast about it, basically. So my 2%, I actually stole this idea from my sister, so I can't take credit for it. And she didn't even realize that it was like water resistant, but she got these little like touch lamps and she has one in her bathroom. And I need to get my shower rod fixed because it broke. So I've been showering in her bathroom and she has this little lamp in there. So I just like have been bringing it into the shower with me because I could have
Ooh.
swore she said they were water resistant. So I'm glad that actually was, but it just adds like a nice extra little cozy lighting situation during the shower. So I was like, this is a very
Ooh.
good little 2%.
Oh, I love that. I know. I've seen people post about that too. Or like if you have a little shelf, you just put a little
Mm-hmm.
lamp on it. I think
Yeah.
that's very
I
cozy.
love lamps everywhere. No
Right.
other overhead lighting, please.
Right. I feel like I'm getting better about that too. Just because I don't know. Oh, this isn't mine for this week, but I'll share. I got a new lamp type thingy, but a
Ooh,
new same
fun.
lamp. I don't know. I'll say it next episode. But my 2% is I did purposefully do this, and I felt like I don't know. I think my body's just come out of stress, and I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remind myself constantly of basically like you don't have to like run, if that makes sense. Like I'm eating really fast, or I'm doing
Yeah.
this really fast, or now I gotta do this. It's like, okay, you're fine, you're good. You can just
Yeah.
do it at whatever pace. I think I saw on Instagram about it, and I was like, yeah, you're right. Like I don't have to like rush through things.
Right.
Um, but on my day off, I purposely went and I got a coffee at a good coffee shop, and then I did take a somewhat of a drive and even stood in a line. I felt very, even though we don't talk about it too much, very a year in the life, Rory, standing in lines outside of a pastry shop, which is a really good pastry shop. And then
Ooh,
I got pastries, and I got like 4 of them for the next few days. And so I felt very
you're
like I
set.
was taking care of myself,
Yeah.
like future me, it's fun pastries. And I
Something
had
to
my
look forward to.
coffee. Yeah, exactly. I only have one pastry left because I keep eating them all,
Oh,
but that's okay.
well,
It's been a
that's what
couple
they're there
days. You know
for.
what I'm saying? Um, but that was my 2% because I was purposefully slowing down, chilling when I was driving. I got some more new imagine DVDs for the car, which we did used to have back in the day, but CDs for the
So
car.
fun.
And so
Love
I'm
it.
just trying to do purposeful, fun, small self-carry type things, which obviously is very
Yeah.
2%, but I felt like my pastry run was the biggest thing this week that I did to purposefully take care of myself. So it's fun.
Yeah. I'm proud of you.
It was
That's so
fun.
lovely.
I
Good
liked it.
cozy vibes.
Right?
All right. I've got some cozy detective 2%.
Yeah.
We have Wickedly Perfect. This one was so cool to hear about. So she found in one of her local little free libraries the Meet Me at Luke's by Christine Eckhart,
Ah,
which I have some recipes featured in that
hey,
book.
so
I was like,
fun.
oh wow, found in the wild. So that was really cool to see. And then Ink and Ivy took a long walk to see wildlife come out. So
Pretty.
that's kind of fun and cozy.
Very spring.
And then, yeah, the curly haired redhead. I feel like I said that with some
You did great.
lisp or something. I don't know. Kindle did a Kindle refresh, new case with bookish stickers,
Ooh.
and added a pop socket and said whilst. I was like, oh, we're getting fancy. Whilst lying on a blanket in the yard, and I know it's because like the
Oh.
question boxes, you only get like so much space. But I just love that. I was like, ooh, it's one of those words when you like. It's like a little
Yes.
sprinkling of pizzazz,
Where
like
you're like,
whilst.
furthermore, you're like,
Yeah.
whoa,
Oh,
really
you
pulling out the big
fancy.
guns now. I love that. Well, thank you for sending those in. Please continue to do so. Thank you for listening. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Blanket Fort Files Pod. Send us your 2% cozier. It really does help, and we really do like it.
Mhm.
And it is very fun because you're the cozy detectives and you're in the blanket fort with us, and we love to hear it.
Exactly.
Please subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts and join us next week in the Blanket Fort, where we'll discuss the coziness of more nostalgic website games.
I'm so excited.
Me
I know I whisper that
too.
all creepily, but
So
I'm very excited.
Listen more.
Oh no, now we're getting into horror movie territory. Yikes.